Coming up on this episode of the MD and Chef Team Show.
So yeah, what's a weakness of this type of system, this new modern medicine, is that insurance companies typically don't cover any of the costs. I mean, even simple things like trying to get vitamin D tests just to find out what your vitamin D levels are, which is one of the most important components of your body systems. Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's culinary nutrition expert, Chef Michael here from Doctoronamission. And I'm joined by, yes, you guessed it, I'm flying solo today here at the MD and Chef Team Show. My beautiful wife, Isabel, your Dr. Isabel, medical doctor and founder of Doctor on a Mission, was unavailable today. It's just the way it played out in life today. So I'm going to be here with you today, and hopefully that's okay. Hey, I'm here today to come with you and share some great words today about brain health, mental health, physical health, your overall general health and wellness. So thank you for joining me today here at the MD and Chef Team Show. And you might be asking the question, well, what's this all about? Well, at Doctor on a Mission, for Isabel and I, medical doctor and chef team, we're really about preventing and overcoming disease. We want to help people first to prevent those issues coming up in their life so that they can live a long, happy, vibrant life until their last breath here on earth. And then also, if there are those things going on in life and those chronic diseases and other things going on, well, we can help them reverse that, because you can. There are many times where we can reverse diseases. But the key thing that we like to look at, and we do this in what's called the functional world, you might say integrative or holistic health, is we want to get to that root cause. And you've probably heard about this thing, the root cause. They're talking about getting to the root cause. Well, I mean, really, truly, do we understand what that means? What's it all about? And I just want to explain that for a moment. Just understand that this is where we come from. We really want to be concentrating on that, because for Isabel and I, for us, it's living a long, happy, vibrant life until our last breath. And to be able to do that, we got to look at root causes of things that are going on in our life. Now, here's an example of root cause. So just imagine a lake. I'm sure somewhere in the world you have been to a lake, all right? And so there's this beautiful lake, but let's say this lake is just polluted. It's at a point where you can't fish in it, you can't swim in it. It's just ugly. And we can add things to it. We can add chemicals to that lake. We can put chemicals in that lake and try and clean it up and get it back to its original source of cleanliness. But if we haven't addressed the tributaries, whether it springs from underneath or streams or rivers or other things that flow into that lake, if we haven't looked at those tributaries and seen what's going on with them, then we can keep pouring in all these chemicals into the lake and it just never clears up, because we could possibly start to clear up that lake. But if there's a tributary or a stream, river, whatever it may be, underground spring that's coming in and it's polluted, maybe it's got chemicals in, and I'll use some analogies, for us, tributaries that could be polluted could be poor sleep, lack of sleep, inadequate sleep, sleep apnea. It could be around nutrition, where our nutrition is very, very poor. It could be around exercise, where basically we're not doing anything. We're not moving our body at all. We're not keeping our muscles strong and working on that. It could be so many different factors like that. It could be something to do with hormones. It could be that our stress is just so out of control. Those contributors into our systems, if we're not addressing those, we can try and clean up the systems. We can try and clean up the lake. But if we don't clean up the tributaries, the contributors going into that dirty lake, it's just going to continue to be dirty. So when you talk about getting to the root cause, it's looking at these contributors, the tributaries that would be causing that lake to be dirty, to say, hey, we got to clean these up. Otherwise, we can just keep throwing chemicals at it and it's never going to be right. It might temporarily clean things up a little bit, but it's never going to be right. And that's what we want to look at, is like, okay, if there's something going on, let's clean it up. Or from the prevention point of view, let's make sure those tributaries are already nice and clean and working well. Okay, so that's really what we work on here at the MD and Chef team. We want to bring that word to you. I mean, today I'm going to be, in a moment, I will, well, let's do this now. Let's talk about today's show. So today's show is called, Who's the Captain of Your Ship? That's the question I'm asking today, is who's the captain of your ship in today's show? And so today, as we get into that, we're also going to have Isabel and I, one thing we love to do is have a relationship chat. We've been together for 44 years. So yeah, we got a little bit of experience with relationships, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that kind of stuff. And we have children. We have 2 beautiful daughters that we recently got to see. So yes, we've got relationships as parents and all that too. So we'll get in a relationship chat, and at the end, I'll leave you with some empowerment and all kinds of other goodies throughout the show. We just never know where it's going to go. So today I want to talk about who's the captain of your ship. And so about that is, to start this off, my first question, as I check my notes, is I want to talk about the weaknesses and strengths of the 2 healthcare systems. So out there, we really have 2 healthcare systems right now, and maybe eventually, this will mold together much better and it'll come together as one modern system. But right now we have 2 healthcare systems and they're not working against each other. The big thing is we want to use them to work together. But who's the captain of your ship? So with 2 healthcare systems, hey Dave, how you doing? With 2 healthcare systems, what we want to do is, one healthcare system is our traditional one right now that most people are accustomed to. It is strength of that healthcare system is what's called acute, where right now, man, I'll tell you what, if I've cut myself and I need 50 stitches, that is a fantastic system where I can go get taken care of. And, if I break a limb, or if I'm in a bad accident that I've hurt myself badly, I want to get into that hospital acute system and get that taken care of. And that's the strength of that system. That system is extremely successful, our traditional system of taking care of things right now, the acute problems, the things that just come bam and really nail us hard. That's where we want to be in that system. Now, the weaknesses of that system is it's not built up for long-term prevention and reversal of chronic disease. It's more about a managing of disease. If somebody's become diabetic, if somebody now has, let's say they've had a heart attack or a stroke, or they've got cardiovascular disease, mental health problems, a lot of different problems, when they've stepped into the traditional system, it can be managed. And that's good. That's an excellent temporary thing to have there, that you can be managed and taken care of. However, long term, we want to get back to this root causes. Long term, there's no way of finding out, okay, well, how did this happen to me? It's just, let's manage that and keep you there. And a lot of times what happens is, with that system, then there's a lot of side effects and other things that can happen. So it's more of a disease management system, the traditional current healthcare system. But again, fantastic strength if there's something acute where boom, injuries, accidents, cuts, things that are really extreme, bam, that's a great system to be in, because you can get taken care of properly, and that's what you need. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, the Hippocratic Oath, said, I will prevent disease wherever I can. I will prevent disease wherever I can. For prevention is preferable to cure. So yeah, we want to be looking at prevention so we don't get down there. Again, that current health care system right now is great. Well, if you do get down there, looking at helping you out and managing that. But as far as prevention, it's not really set up for that because that takes a lot of work, a lot more work working with people to make that happen. It's not going to happen in the doctors. Again, my beautiful wife, Isabel, she would be the first one to tell you as an MD for, I don't know, we're looking at maybe 35, 36 years now as frontline MD, seeing over 500,000 people. She'd be the first one to tell you that long-term health care is not going to happen in a 15, 20-minute doctor visit. There's a lot more that needs to come. Now, the strengths of the new medicine, what's called functional medicine, again, there's different words used around the world: functional, integrative, holistic, where we want to start looking at the root causes and prevention so we don't get there, or even if we are down there, okay, temporarily manage, but now let's reverse and get out of that chronic disease. The strengths of that is you look at the whole body as one. We don't have a doctor for arms, a doctor for heart, a doctor for brain, a doctor for this body organ, a doctor for this body organ. We look at the whole body systems working together and what can be causing these systems to be thrown off. Because again, I might have, here's an example, I might have arthritis of the knee, but that doesn't mean my problem's in my knee. That means I've got some kind of an inflammation. I got fire going on in my body, and it could be being caused by poor gut health. And I might need to look into that to actually alleviate or reverse the arthritis of the knee. So we want to look at the whole body. And again, even if it's up here in mental health and brain health, that it's not a separation here at the neck. The whole body is one. So here's a saying that I've heard a lot of times, and let's say, for me, it's functional nutrition, but there's also, Isabel, is functional medicine, is if you're standing on a tack, it takes a lot of aspirin to make you feel better. So if you're standing on a tack, current healthcare system, what we'll do is take a whole bunch of aspirin or maybe even put a plaster, a Band-Aid on that. But the treatment for standing on the tack is removing the tack. Hello, I know, that makes sense. But that's getting to the root cause, because what's the root cause of the pain? The root cause of the pain isn't not having enough aspirin. Yes, we can temporarily manage the pain, but we want to say, well, why does this pain why doesn't it go away? We need to take the tack out of our foot so we can remove that root cause. So that's really the strengths of the new modern medicine, the functional medicine. Excuse me while I have a sip of green tea, lovely green tea. I don't know where you are in the world. Where you are you all in the world? Let me know where you're at. Type it in the chat. Let me know what you're up to. Love to kind of hear from where you're at, because I'm coming to you, broadcasting to you from New Zealand. And right now it's our winter. And that's why I have kind of two layers on here. And, winter here is pretty cool. I mean, if you've never been down under for winter, yes, it's winter. But, our winter Fahrenheit-wise is in the 40s and 50s. It gets in the 30s at night, but it's not northern hemisphere, real cold winters. But, it's cold, but it's kind of tropical cold, shall I say. It's the rainy season. It's the wet season. And right now it's rainy and wet. And I don't know, let's see, Celsius about 10 degrees. What's that, Fahrenheit? Maybe it's somewhere in the 40s, something like that. And that's winter. But the grass is green and there's actually some flowers popping up because we're about 4, 5, 6 weeks from summertime. Yay. Don't know how I got off on that, but I did. Let me know where you're from. Hey, weaknesses. So what's weaknesses of the new medicine kind of functional way is, from a financial point of view, insurance companies don't function as, hey, Dave, Toledo, Ohio. Oh, what do you got? 32 Celsius today. Yep, that's summertime. That's your summertime. Enjoy. I would love to be that warm, to be honest with you. I love it when it's hot. So yeah, what's a weakness of this type of system, this new modern medicine, is that insurance companies typically don't cover any of the costs. I mean, even simple things like trying to get vitamin D tests just to find out what your vitamin D levels are, which is one of the most important components of your body systems. Find out where your vitamin D levels are for your immune system and all other functions throughout the body. Well, you got to pay for it just to get a simple blood test. There's so many other things that are covered, but it's not. So that's just an example. So that's kind of a weakness of the new system and it's not a weakness of the system. It's just that insurance companies and governments haven't caught up to the fact that, hey, this is actually the better way to go. Because if we think about it in the long term, I don't have all the stats in front of me. You can look it up. But whatever country you're in, take a look at what healthcare is costing the government and businesses and dollars and productivity for your country right now. I can guarantee it's in the billions and the trillions, depending on the size of your country. And so what we really should be doing, and hope this happens in the future, is we need to be funding this prevention side of it, which is going to be a heck of a lot less expensive than trying to fund all this unwellness that's in all the countries throughout the world and causing so much lack of productivity in the workplace and throughout the countries and hospitals just being swamped. And I can tell you, Dr. Isabel, the first one to tell you that the medical system is just swamped with unwellness these days from so many people coming to see him. The other weakness of this system right now, I hate to use the word weakness of the system because it's not the problem of the system, it's the problem of, shall I say, healthcare in general not catching up, is it's not really taught in medical schools. For Isabel, 12 years of training in the United States, but she wasn't taught this type of medicine. And to learn this type of medicine, she's had to go out on her own, put in the time, put in the dollars to learn about this second style of medicine. And again, we want to marry them both together, and we'll talk about that. She's had to put in the time and the dollars to do that, to learn beyond 12 years of the traditional way of learning. And so one of the things, that's why we kind of encourage you to be the captain of your own ship. Because what does becoming the captain of your own ship for your own health mean? Well, that means understanding first off about these two different systems. You got two different systems. They both have strengths, they both have weaknesses, just understanding them, and then understanding how do I use them both. There's certain times when you can use them both. And one of the things we always talk to people about is, in becoming the captain of your own ship as far as health goes, and that's what we're talking about here today, is that when you use both of these systems, is which one is appropriate for right now. If I've got some possible things going on with, let's just use arthritis, or I've got some pain in different joints or this and that, yes, I can get some temporary relief from this system, the current system, but I don't want to just be on pain relief for the rest of my life because, you can get hooked on that stuff. And it's not really finding out, well, why do I have this pain? So temporarily, yes, but if I'm looking long term to make sure that I don't have this anymore, that, it doesn't come back on me, that this is taken care of, then I've got to look at the functional system and find out, okay, what's my root cause? What's that dirty contributory that's causing this problem of inflammation for me? So that's learning to use both systems. I'm just checking my notes on a couple things. So so you being in charge of your ship, first knowing about the systems, and then which system do I want to use right now? Now, you might need to search out. So one of the things we suggest is always have your family doctor, in the current healthcare system. You might be fortunate enough to have a family doctor, or they call it family doctors in some part of the world. Here they call it GP, general practice. But always have your personal doctor. And you might be fortunate that your personal doctor is a functional medicine doctor who kind of already knows how to marry both systems. I mean, that's Isabel. She knows, my beautiful wife, Dr. Isabel, that she knows how to marry both systems together. But not everybody has a doctor that can do that. So you always want to have at least your personal doctor. And then if your personal doctor isn't part of the functional medicine world, understanding how to get to root causes and that, then you want to find somebody who could do that. And that could be many different types of doctors. That could be a functional medicine doctor, a functional practitioner. It could be possibly a naturopath that you're working with, some kind of holistic practitioner. But you want to have somebody that can work with you in that area so that if you do have some problems going on, then you can kind of reverse those systems, get to the root causes. Or if you are someone that wants to make sure, hey, I don't step into diabetes. I don't step into cardiovascular disease. I don't step into cognitive decline in the area of dementia, Alzheimer's. I don't want to step into mental disorders. Then you're going to need to search out somebody in that functional area who can help you in the area of prevention so you don't step into that. So you got to understand both systems and find, okay, what am I looking to achieve right now? And look, where am I looking to go with it? So let's talk about you being the captain of your own ship as far as what does it look like in your home? Because as Isabel would say, you're your number one doctor. That sounds crazy hearing that from a doctor who says, well, you're your number one doctor. But what she means by that, and what I mean by that is you live in yourself 24/7. So many times, and would you agree with me, we might go into the doctor and we've got kind of a feeling what's going on with us. Not always, but we might kind of know, or maybe if the doctor asks the correct questions of us, we can uncover, yeah, I think that's what's going on with me. Because again, we live in this 24/7. We live in us 24/7. The doctor's only going to ask a few questions and try and come up with something. But in a lot of times, we have to go with our own gut instincts. Okay, I think this is what's going on. Now we're looking for a clarification from the doctor that might be like, yep, that sounds about right. Here's what we need to do now going forward. But really, you're the captain of your own ship when you realize that, you know what? I live within myself. I know my body. I know my systems. I know how my brain works. I know how my body works. And I can feel something. I know something right now. And you start to know that about yourself. So number one is thinking you're not giving the power away to your health to just say, well, I don't know. I'm just going to do whatever. Whatever they tell me I'm going to do. Well, you can, but really you want to start with, okay, I'm my number one doctor. I'm going to start listening to myself and start to get an idea. And yes, I can seek help, but I want to unpack what's going on there. And I'm going to use some of my own gut instincts, my own intuition to understand what's happening there. The home. Why is it so important in the home? If you have children, this is so, so important. Families should eat together. All right. Now, of course, like our daughters are 28 and 30. Well, they're both about to have a birthday, turning 28 and 30. So I just say that for now. But they're grown adults. So I'm talking about kids that are in your home with you every day. And we always did this growing up. But research shows that children who have regular meals with their parents, and when I say regular meals, I mean a minimum once a day. So children that have meals with their parents once a day in schools show that overall their grades are better. They are 42% less likely to drink alcohol. They're 50% less likely to smoke in any kind of form, whether that's marijuana, cigarettes, vaping, any of that. And their regular meals decrease all the different eating disorders, bulimia, anorexia, and childhood obesity. Those levels are decreased when they're eating with your parents once a day. Children eat with their parents. Families can cook together. That's another beautiful thing. I mean, myself as a chef, one of the things I'm very proud about our two daughters is they're fantastic cooks. I mean, if they wanted to, they could go out and have a chefing career because they're very good at it. That's not their careers. But at home, they're fantastic cooks. I mean, they're cooks, chefs, whatever you want to say, because they're really good at it. And I'm proud to say that they are. They will not starve because, number one, they know how to get out there and make money and work their butts off. But number two is they know how to cook. And it's really, really important, if you don't know, to cook yourself. Learn, hey, contact me. I can help you with that. I do that with people. But also teach your children how to cook. Because if they get out there in the world and they can't cook, well, where's their food coming from? Well, it's coming from unknown sources, basically. So it's so important for families to cook together, eat together, learn how to do that table together, and it will serve your children very, very well as they become adults and as they are children, with all these different statistics I just talked about. So that's a really important thing. Okay, so to be the captain of your ship, where do I start? I want to kind of wrap this section up a little bit about understanding that you become the CEO of your health is a term you could use. You becoming the captain of your health ship. How do I do that? First, understand that there's two systems, traditional system and a functional medicine, new modern type of system. Right now, the best thing you can do is understand them both and mold them together for your either prevention or reversal of disease. Each one has their different strengths. Understand the different strengths of each one. Take advantage of both of them. And whichever you're looking to do, if you want some temporary help, use current healthcare system. When you want to now get into long-term having optimal health, you got to look on the functional side of it, getting the root causes for either prevention or reversal. So understanding that. Embrace the reality that long-term optimal health takes a commitment and it takes time. Because no matter where you're at right now, if you want to make some changes, like I did when I was approximately the age of 50 and I was a hot basket mess as far as my health goes, everything from brain health to mental health to physical health, it was an absolute mess because of poor contributors, shall I say, or poor lifestyle habits for 20 years from the age of 30 to 50 leading up to that I had to become committed to my long-term health, and it didn't happen overnight. I had to make some changes. I had to clean up this contributor. I had to clean up that contributor. I couldn't do them all at one time because it's too overwhelming. So when you make a commitment to long-term health, be kind to yourself, take some steps, move forward, get some coaching, find the help that you need, and just commit to it. And that's really where you want to start at, just understanding the different systems, knowing what am I looking to achieve right now, is it temporary, is it long-term? And when it gets to be long-term, you have to go look at the functional side, unless you are working with a practitioner that molds them both together, like my beautiful wife, Dr. Isabel, your doctor on a mission. Then that will all come together very nicely and you can make that all happen. But you are the captain of your ship, hopefully. Don't allow somebody else to steal and steer, shall I say. Don't allow somebody else to steer your ship of health because, well, if you do, it'll probably end up landing on the rocks and it won't be good. Hate to say it, but that's the reality of it. All righty. Hey, so if you want to learn a little bit more about us, you can pop on over to doctoronamission.com. And if you want to look us up on social media, just look us up at Doctor on a Mission on your favorite social media channels. We're out there in pretty much all of them. And so that's where you can find out more about us. And right now, I'm just going to take a short break. coming back from what we were talking about there with being the CEO or the captain of your ship in health, I want to talk about relationships. And it's kind of being the captain of your relationship. So for Isabel and I being together for about 44 years now, part I want to talk about today is sticking it out in the tough times. Because if you've been in a relationship for any period of time, and once you get past the honeymoon stage, I mean, we all want to be in the honeymoon stage forever, but that's just not reality, is that you're going to have some tough times. Now, I am not talking about really bad, horrible issues where, let's just say an example. Let's say maybe the husband steals all the money and runs off or something with another woman or whatever. Then, okay, yeah, you want to get out of that relationship. Or somebody's being abusive physically, mentally, domestic abuse type stuff. Okay, that's totally different. I'm just talking about everyday life where there's tough situations where maybe it's financial, maybe it's some health issues, job issues, career issues, just, everyday stuff, things that sometimes get really, really difficult. And, it's about, do we stick it out? Do we hang in there together with each other? And what I want to say about that is it had me thinking about this, this honeymoon phase type thing, because I think us humans sometimes forget that we live in a society that's almost like a throwaway society. And this may sound very strange, but do we bring that into relationships? And I'm talking about, any type of relationship, but basically marital relationships, is when we get a new car. We go out, we get a new car, and we are just like over the moon. We are in the honeymoon stage of the new car. It's just amazing. It's a fantastic. We're washing it all the time, cleaning it all the time, and it's like, oh, it's got that new car smell, the whole thing. It's beautiful, or even if you happen to buy a used one, still, it's always like, yeah, this is great. This is our new used car, and you're just excited about it. And then, as time goes on, it kind of, and this could be maybe you are buying a new television or buying a new sofa, or, what I'm talking about. You get something new and we're so excited about it. And then as time goes on, we kind of it's just there after a while. And I'll just use the car analogy. And maybe after 3, 5, 7, 10 years, we decide, I'm tired of this. I'm going to trade it in for something newer. And I just hope and wonder sometimes, do we do that in a marital situation where we're excited, we love all the quirkiness of the person we've just got in this honeymoon stage, because we all have quirkiness. You can call it whatever you want. Strange, weird, quirky, different. We're all different animals. We're all different humans, and we all have our stuff. And, but when we're in that honeymoon stage, we love all that quirkiness. We love that, they do this or they do that, and it's kind of strange, but I love it, type thing. And then we're down the track a little bit, and then that thing becomes like, I just can't stand, And where do we, or if there's some financial problems, and it brings that stress on, or if there's health problems, I'm sad to say I've heard of this so many different times where people we might be working with are going through some health issues, and we find out that their partner, their spouse, husband, wife left them during this time because it got difficult. I just want to say, how do we approach that? How do we look at that? And I guess I want to say for Isabel and I, that as time has gone on and some of that stuff has happened many times, and sometimes we've gotten to the edge, we're like, we're looking at each other almost like, do we want to be together? Do we really want to continue on? And the bottom line question that we've always come to is looking at each other and asking each other this question is, do I want to continue on living with you for the rest of my life? Do I truly, honestly, unconditionally love you? Hey, good evening, Mona. Nana Mona, good evening. How are you? Great to see you. Do we really want to stay together or not? And you got to just break it down to that core, because no matter what's going on, no matter what junk is happening, if you could say, you know what? No, I don't want to start over again. I unconditionally love this person, and I made a commitment, and we'll just somehow figure this thing out. Is it rough? Is it yucky? Is it yes? That's just, I don't know. I mean, that's just what we've always done. I mean, maybe that'll help you. Maybe you're at a point where you're just like, and you just need to sit down with each other and look at each other and say, okay, do we unconditionally still love each other and want to somehow figure this out and move forward and, make it happen? Because hopefully you can, and not just kind of say, I'm going to trade in this old model, get something new. Because again, I feel that filters in to our relationship somewhat, because that's kind of what we do out there in life with the material items. And hopefully we don't allow that to come into us in our relationships. Maybe that helps somebody out there. I don't know. But that's just something I wanted to chat about today, because, we go through our junk just like anybody else does. But, at the end of the day, we just look at each other and say, nah, I'm not looking to start all over again. I unconditionally love you. Yes, you're as messy as I am. We all are. But let's continue to roll in this mess together. That's the way I look at it. And I know Isabel does too. All righty. Hey, so today I want to leave you with a little something inspirational. I like to bring something out there that can bring some light into your day if your day is possibly dark, because it can be. It's a crazy world out there, and sometimes we can go down the rabbit hole of reading everything about the news, watching the news, social media on the news, all this and that, comparing ourselves to others where everybody looks fantastic on social media, all that kind of stuff. But I want to leave you with a little something today. So today's just what you have. You only got today. You got the grace for today. As in the book, the good book, the Bible, God says, I've given you the grace for one day at a time, and that's all you get. It's like headlights driving down the road at nighttime. It's not like you can see 50 kilometers in front of you. You can only see a certain point. So today's what you have. Now, understanding that planning your future is a key to success. Yes, you want to make some plans. Yes, you want to set some goals. That's all beautiful and wonderful. However, understand that those can change. There's a saying, what is that? Set your plans in sand, or actually, I forget the saying. Set your plans in sand and your goals in cement, something like that. But anyway, set your goals out there, but understand that the plans are always going to change, because life changes every day. So I guess what I want to say is understand that with today, it's great to have plans. We have our goals. We have our plans. We look at the 1 week, the 1 month, the 6 months, the 1 year, the 5 years. But know that you've got today, and don't look out there in the future that you forget about today and you waste today. You don't want to waste today, because I can tell you, life goes so quickly that if you're constantly looking ahead, you're going to have wasted a lot of days trying to get to the mountaintop. And you're going to get to the mountaintop and look back and say, gee, how did I get here? Oh, did I miss this? Did I miss that? My kids are grown up, or I've gone through all these amazingness things that happened. I didn't even realize that, I didn't smell the roses the whole way. So understand that, make your plans. Yep, you're looking to go to the mountaintop. Fantastic. Totally up to you, whatever that may be. But know that today is a beautiful day. And take today on, even if it's just opening your eyes and saying, okay, I got another shot at today. We'll see how I go today. And take it one at a time. And let today be an inspiration for you. And just see what comes to you today. I'm sure you will find something good somehow, somewhere in today. Because you only got the grace for one day at a time. but don't let the days waste away just trying to get to the mountaintop. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I was running solo today, but you're beautiful. Doctor on a Mission will be back soon, so she's unavailable today, but we'll be back at you with the MD and Chef Team show again soon. Hello, Chef Michael here. If you enjoyed today's episode, we would love it if you subscribed to the podcast and left us a review.